let's now go to our third change speaker for this morning. Professor Raymond Atugubah is currently the Dean of the University of Ghana School of Law, where he has taught since 2002. He has been a visiting professor of law and the Henry J. Steiner Visiting Professor of Human Rights at Harvard Law School, 2018 to 2019, and has taught over 40 related courses at several universities in Africa, Europe, the United States of America, Canada, and Australia. His research interests are in constitutional and administrative law in the global south, law and development in Africa, and human rights and community lawyering. Professor Atugubah has also worked in the public sector. He was one time the executive secretary to the President of Ghana. He has consulted for many African governments, the Gambia, Ghana, Guinea-Bissau, Lesotho, Liberia, Sierra Leone, Uganda, Zimbabwe, among others. He just authored a book on the Constitution of Ghana. He speaks to us on regrouping to rebuild. Let's hear Dr. Raymond Atugubah.
Good morning. My message today is entitled Regrouping to Rebuild. In February last year, I delivered a public lecture on the economy of Ghana. In that lecture, I made 3 predictions. The first was that our debt to GDP ratio would be more than 100% by the time we add the energy sector debt and some of the debts that were off the books. Recently, we have had to agree as a country that our debt to GDP ratio is more than 104%. 104% and counting. The second prediction I made in that lecture was that our country was radically broke and was going to get even broker and incapable of raising money. I purposefully used the irreducible idiomaticity of radically broke to convey the seriousness of the situation. In that lecture, I added that unless we agree to pay the Farafakhin e-levy at the rate and scale indicated in the budget proposals, we would be so broke that we would need an immediate IMF bailout. Today, we are at the doorsteps of the IMF. I made a final prediction and got a lot of flack for it. I said that unless the government took serious and urgent steps, including certain critical steps for the management of the economy, there could easily be a coup in Ghana. We have all witnessed the attempted coups in Parliament recently. First against the President, insisting that he removes the Minister for Finance, and next against the Minister for Finance himself, when Parliament tried to pass a vote of censure against him. We have also witnessed calls by the former and current President to the armed forces not to institute a takeover of government. You don't ask the military not to take over unless you have heard something. Now, I have told these 3 stories for one reason. I am not very experienced in government. There are people who have 100 times the experience I have had in government. So they know what I was saying. They know the predictions I was making even better than me. The question I ask is this: why, despite all the information, all the knowledge, and all the experience of the countless persons inside government, current and previous, why, despite the combined experience of this mosaic of excellent human talent, capable, more than capable, of managing the economy of Ghana, did we fall into the economic mess that we fell in? If we are able to answer that question, if we are able to answer that simple question, we will be able to break the cycle of mediocrity in our governance, which perpetuates underdevelopment, poverty, and suffering in our nation. To conclude, I want to repeat the question. The question is this: we have some of the best experts in Ghana. A lot of them contribute to the development of other countries in Africa and even outside of Africa as experts. The United Nations, the World Bank, the IMF will not be hiring these Ghanaians and utilizing them to transform the economies and lives of other countries if they were not good. It means they are good and they are capable and they are right here with us. The question is, why, despite all this pool of talent, have we landed ourselves in the governance and economic mess that we are in Ghana today? Let me conclude by referring to another lecture I gave in July this year. In that lecture, which I gave at the Ghana Studies Association conference in Tamale, I talked about all die be die and do or die. All die be die is the mantra of the MPP, do or die is the mantra of the NDC. I outlined the characteristics of both slogans and the parties that stand behind them. I indicated in that lecture that unless certain critical steps are taken, election 2024 could be bloody and could disintegrate our democracy. Again, we have all the people in this country capable of working to ensure that this does not happen. I am yet to see work in that direction. Thank you for your attention.
And thank you, Dr. Raymond Atugubah, Professor, Dean of the University of Ghana School of Law.